So have you witnessed a car crash before? Ones, especially with injury, can be very scary and stressful. It's an all too common occurrence for drivers here in the Valley, but knowing how to react if you see one can potentially save someone's life. And here to explain is attorney Judah Zakalik. He is a Peters & Associates, also known as the Panda Guys, joining us this morning. How are you?
Excellent, excellent.
We were just talking, you've seen, what, half a dozen accidents?
Personally, I've seen about half a dozen.
Since you've been here in the
Valley.
Valley.
Witnessed them actually happen. Being here 12 years, seen about half a dozen.
I've seen a few crazy doozies. First reaction is scream,
right,
and adrenaline gets flying, and then you need to go back to basics.
Right.
What are those basics? I mean, should we, I'm assuming we don't drive into the crash site and we don't like
No.
start ripping people open right away.
No,
what should we do?
We want to be conservative.
Okay.
So the first thing we want to do as a witness is get yourself out of danger, right? So get to the side of the road, maybe pull about 100 feet down from the accident so you can have room for ambulances or police or fire trucks to come in. Then you want to call the police if there's any kind of injury, if airbags have been deployed, you want to do that. You want to render aid to the people who have been injured. And when I say rendering aid, I don't mean you need to go in as a paramedic, but you need to—
Unless you're a paramedic.
Unless you're a paramedic or a
I know.
firefighter, please, you know, if it's coincidentally you're there, great, good luck for that person. But if not, then you can talk about maybe administering CPR, things of that nature. I was once a member of the American Heart Association. What they've said is you no longer have to give it the mouth to mouth. What you can do is just do the chest compressions, and that's sufficient. And that's especially important too if you ever witness a motorcycle accident, because if that motorcycle rider has a helmet on, the last thing you want to do is try to remove that helmet.
Because there could be neck injuries there.
Could be neck injuries, or could be crushed vertebrae, and if you actually try to take that helmet off, you could injure that rider further or actually kill them.
Wow.
So if you want to administer CPR, if this person is in need, then you want to just do chest compressions on it. So.
We've seen the video of the heroic man or heroic woman that sees a car on fire, that this is going to get ugly pretty fast, and they're able to take the person out of the car before the car explodes. It's happened on many occasions.
Yes.
It's obviously very risky.
It is.
Is it something that you would suggest?
Well, so normally you don't want to move someone.
Yeah.
If they've been injured in a car accident, don't move them.
But there seems to be an imminent threat like that.
Right. So if you have a car on fire,
yeah,
definitely. If there's smoke there, you want to try to remove them from the vehicle to get away from that danger.
There have been a couple accidents involving motorcycles over the past week or so, right?
Yeah.
Let's talk about this.
So we've had 2 fatalities in the past week involving motorcyclists, where the motorcyclist was not at fault. It was the other driver, the car driver, who was taking a left in front of that motorcyclist. So if they're going opposite directions and that person takes a left in front of them, or if the person's to the right of them taking a left.
It's like a movable brick wall.
Right, and we've talked about it, right? The problem is that car driver just can't gauge the distance from the motorcyclist. And so you need to take your time when you're taking a left in front of a motorcyclist, because you just can't tell how far away they are. And for motorcyclists, if that driver's to the right of you, watch their tires, okay? Watch their wheels. Sometimes when you look at a car, you can't tell if it's moving forward or not.
Exactly.
But if that wheel is
moving forward,
right?
Exactly. Yeah.
But if that wheel is moving, you know that car is moving, or they're taking their foot off the brake.
Yeah.
And that's what's important.
And definitely look at the eyes of that person too. If they don't see you,
yeah, if you can,
be careful.
Definitely.
I mean, the risk for injury obviously is bad in all accidents, but for motorcyclists especially, there's no roll cage there. You are the roll cage.
Right. There's no metal protecting you. About 1 in 5 motorcycle accidents end up in death for the motorcyclists.
Wow.
So it's very important. This is Motorcycle Safety Awareness Month. We see a lot more riders on the road right now because the weather's nice and it's great riding out here. I ride personally. A lot of my friends ride, and this is something we're always very conscious of. In fact, not even 3 weeks ago, I was riding, and one of the guys I rode with got rear-ended on the highway by a truck going about 80 miles an hour.
No.
Yeah. It was
How's
scary.
your friend?
He's great. You know, he managed to keep the bike up, and soft tissue damage.
He kept the bike up?
Kept the bike up. Got rear end going 80, and the skill level is just tremendous. And we thought he was done for, and was really scary.
Wow.
But he got the bike over, and the police came, and the paramedics came, and he got aid and went to the hospital. And that's the thing for motorcyclists too. If you get hit, go to the hospital. Put your pride aside. Go to the hospital.
Because you never know.
You never know if you're injured. And even in a car accident, if you have any thought that you might be injured, just go, because a lot of times injuries don't show up until a couple days later.
Absolutely. So if you're an eyewitness, sometimes eyewitnesses, the longer time happens from the moment of impact, the less and less their
memory degrades.
Yeah, it kind of just goes, and all of a sudden there were, oh my God, there were angels, and things get made up. Taking out a camera and filming the scene would certainly help.
Yeah. If we can get shots of the scene at that real time, or video at real time, great. If we can get shots of where the person is in the car, where the cars are before they're being moved, excellent, that helps.
And the video, especially when you're doing that, if it just happened, you take out the video. As you're recording behind the scenes, you say what you saw. That way, it's the first thing on your mind. You get it out there, so it's on recording, and you know.
Right. And if police ask you any questions, be truthful, be honest, be as sincere as possible, because they're here to help assign the loss or the risk or who was at fault during that. So
should we stick around until Metro arrives?
Yes.
Okay.
In fact, if you're involved in the accident, it's required. If someone might be injured, you can't just leave the scene. That may be considered a felony if someone is injured in an accident that you're involved in, you leave the scene. And then you also have a responsibility to render aid. And render aid doesn't mean you need to go over there and start giving chest compressions, but it means you need to call paramedics at the very least.
Yeah, it's do your due diligence.
As a good person.
And as a good human being.
Helpful. Important.
Judith, it's a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sean.
All right, if you want more information on the services offered by the Panda Guys of Peters & Associates, you can just call the number or head to the website on your screen. They're also on Facebook and Twitter. And of course, if you're involved in the accident, stay put, please.